Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of the Foolsopolis here in City Skylines, where recently we've been doing tons of expansions, tons of improvements to try and kind of really gain more residents. Well, recently we also added in some unique factories, and we kind of limited to what we could place down because of the industries that we do have. We are missing the fishing industry and we're missing the woodland industry to be able to build more industry, to create more industry. Oh my goodness me, I'm out of breath just saying it. Guys, today we're going to be building our woodland industry, or at least planning it out, and we're going to add in too a bunch of industry zoning. I'm just going to call this episode Industry. I might as well at this point, right? And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this, please make sure you smash the like button down below. If you're new in here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when the next episode does come out. So, boom, we are back. Now, we're having a little bit of issues with losing some population again since we did get over 400,000 in the last episode. Now that's down to the fact that a lot of our commercial is now complaining about not enough goods. I've also placed down a bunch of these kind of warehouses which store commercial goods. So we're kind of going to go for a little bit of a lull period right now where everything goes kind of against us. Because the game simulates pretty slow, we're going for this period where all of a sudden all of the industrial buildings are not going to take their goods to the commercial zone. They're going to take it to the warehouse. Once the warehouse is filled up, then it will take it to the commercial area. So what we have to kind of wait for this wave of transportation to the warehouse is over before the commercial starts to get his product. So kind of going to wait there. So in the meantime, we're going to build this woodland industry. I also want to do some zoning too. Now, I've already picked a spot to where I'm going to place it, and that spot is pretty much over here. Because right now, if I go to view the big kind of picture of it, the oil industry is here. Farming industry is there. Mining industry is over here. So I'm gonna. I was thinking about placing it here, but I don't really want to. I want to place it up here. We've got good train connections straight to the airport, to the ships, get it to where it needs to go. It's going to be pretty exciting. So we're going to plan it out here. Now, before we do, I'm going to give our brand new university some funds right now to kind of get it to the next level. So if I go to academic works, we're going to give it some IT and engineering research grants to hopefully bring something back of the academic works, so we can then level it up to the next level. That's kind of what we're hoping for right now. So we'll see what we can get out of that. We're also... Actually, no, I won't do the specialized industrial zoning. What I mean by that is putting farming industrial zoning in the farming industry. We'll kind of save that for a little bit later. Now, right now, we have an entry to the highway just up here. We don't really have one over there. But I feel like it might be a good idea to also get one in down here. So that way, there's two either side of this area where we're going to have all of our kind of forest industry down. And we're going to have to kind of create something to get the train line all hooked up and connected a lot smoother, a lot better than what it is to bring trains in. So, what I'm going to do then is going to first work with designing how we want the layout. And I'll use all my trees, and we'll pick a point around here for how far down I want the entry to be. Is that going to be enough of the space into this, or do you reckon it's a little bit too close? I'll go down to here. We'll do it to there. That'll be our entry point. And that road will also come around here and then connect into there as well. And that'll kind of come through here. It might just end up connecting to there, or it might even have another road that cuts through. I'm not 100% sure yet. We'll have a road definitely coming down here and connecting, because I'm going to eventually turn this train line more elevated up and over. Do you know what? To be honest with you, I could have like another connection there. Or would that be even more close? Too close is probably the best way to say it. Right, if I anarchy this for a 10 mark, and if I delete this back, I reckon there might be good enough. It's going to be quite fun to find out, isn't it? So if I went there, actually, what's that whole distance there? It's a 34. It's kind of like a weird number. But if I went there and kind of create a little bit of a bend, I can have a connection there. I can have a connection down here. Yeah, this could work out. This could definitely work out. Now, I've got to delete this because I've got to set this up in a way in which, where's the 3-lane road there? In the way at which we kind of get the node here, basically. So if I go there, I then should be able to get that there. And I've got my 10 either side set up. So you add that back in so then vehicles don't disappear. And we can then pretty much work from here. So I'll come back by another 10. I think that road's going to kind of bend up this way, bend around there, following like the natural kind of contours of the land, and pretty much end up over in this direction. I think we'll pick a point as well. So if what's the distance of this? That is 150. So if I'm just going to call it 70. I know it's 10 short. Actually, I'll just go to here. Was that too close? Now we'll go here. Bam, and I'll run this all the way up. There we go. Now if I come out by 20, there's another entry point right now. We're trying to make it as kind of accessible as we pretty much can. So in terms of the topography of this area, we have a flat section that kind of slightly goes into there. It's kind of nice and smooth around here, but then it starts to go uphill. So we do have to be a little bit careful with how we do the majority of all this forest industry. But we should be able to get something set up pretty sweet anyway, so it shouldn't be too bad. So if I kept this kind of going up, and I reckon about there would be fine to kind of bring the road down in this direction. So that road will kind of bend around and connect them to here. That will go in a bit more and kind of maybe end somewhere. I don't know where just yet, but it probably will. If I bring this out by 20 as well. Now I could straight up use the connection tool to bring these guys together. I don't know what type of connection it's going to throw in for us on the old bend. It might not be too bad of a connection. Something like that. Reasonable, right? Unless I bring it up a little bit more, or I just completely keep it as like a T-junction here. Do you reckon that T-junction is a bit too close to the way that's going to bend in? I don't know. If it is, we'll mess about with it. But I'm just thinking of what's going to be better for us. So again, using that connection tool. Because to be honest with you, I don't know if this is going to be a good idea either. So the maximum bend is there. I don't know how I feel about that, if that is even going to be worthwhile at all. I don't know. I think I might just scrap it and then kind of keep this maybe slightly coming up and in. And because I want to utilize this area maybe slightly too. I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? So we want all the buildings around here that are going to collect the wood. And then maybe down here is where we produce the wood, like turn it into like said product. So I could also just kind of keep it a straight 90 degree, but I feel like that wouldn't work either. So if I bought this out anyway, because it's going to come out to a certain level so I can utilize it a bit better. And am I really not picking up the bend? Is it that far away still? $38. What about there? I'm still not picking the bend up. This is mental. Like normally you'll pick up the kind of the bend of this. There we go. 33 by 29. So 29 by 29. That did not work either. What is going on with this bend? Seriously. What is going on with this bend right now? So what was it? 33? Well, I'll go 33 by 33. Right, that's better. Jeez. That was kind of weird, wasn't it? I'm not too sure about this connection here. So I might just kind of kill it off. Because I think it's going to be too close to the slip roads that we're going to have. So if I just have that to there, and I'm just going to pick... I'm going to pick this little spot here. I'm going to bring this up by 20. And it will just connect into there. I think that will be a lot more reasonable. That's better, isn't it, boys? And we'll just do that. I sorted the terraforming out anyway. But these gridded roads, simple connections, all leading from point A to point B. Trying to make this area as accessible as I potentially can. So a nice little wiggle. I like that. Adds a little bit of character to this area. And I'll add all the slip roads on in a little bit later. So let's just kind of finalize or kind of finish up with a little bit more of this road. And I kind of want it to go up to there, but obviously not with how it currently bends. And then, bam, what a bam, bam, bam. I mean, is that as good as I'm going to get it? Probably, yeah. Probably. So if I just pause for a second, because it's quicker to kind of do the terraforming right now in pause mode. Go for a bigger brush size. Smoothing all that out. Do the same over here. Push it all through, all around there. Make it all feel like it's all normal and natural. And voila! We have a very, very basic road layout. That's pretty much what we have. So, we need to create this industry then, this area. And I think I'm going to start with around here having the main building. Now, for the woodland industry, I think it's the only industry where the worker barracks are absolutely huge. I mean, look at them. They're absolutely huge right now. So we have to kind of take that into consideration. The main building is not too bad. And the maintenance building, that's pretty a decent sized building as well. Now, we're going to use these little kind of side street roads. I really do like them. I'm kind of like a little bit of a sucker for them at this point. I'm going to bring these up and in. So I bring that to about there. I think right in here, I cut this in going down there. I'm going to go up by a 15. Why not? So I'm just going to create like a little bit of a basic layout or whatnot. Something nice and simple. And within this then, I can place down my main building, which we'll have just there. We've then got to zone the industrial area, so paint it all up, boys. Let me zoom out. There we go. Now, I don't know how far I'm going to go with this, so I'm just going to take it to the highways. Up to there. I don't think I'll go past this line. So now I've just got to paint. I wish we could have like a bigger paintbrush size when it comes to painting industrial zones. But then again, what's the average size that someone paints a zone? That's what I want to know. Is this too big? Is it not big enough? Is it small? Is it average? Who knows? But that would do us justice anyway. And then we'll place down the maintenance building, which I'll get. I'll place that just... You know, I'll just go there with it. Now, I'll drop a couple of worker barracks in. They are fairly decent sized buildings, which is crazy how big they are. It really is. So I'm going to drop a couple of these bad boys in. They increase our kind of efficiency. And I'll place a few more dotted around as we kind of continue to build up anyway. So, good stuff. Now we need to get the actual kind of like farms in. Like the forest farms, sapling fields. We've got then the large tree plantations. So I know we've got no trees in this area. I will plant them all down, don't worry. And we will kind of have like little roads that lead up here and there and everywhere to kind of like implement them all in to kind of create this forest vibe. Which would look pretty sweet. That feels like it goes wonky just there. I think that's down to the way I did the curvature bend that we had set up. So I'm going to kind of stick to this little side street kind of style. And I'm going to have it start by coming out here. There by 20. There. It doesn't really matter about the 11 because we're not zoning in that kind of aspect. And I can bring this up. Let's bring it to... Yeah, why not? To the top. Bring it out. Bring it down. Bring it out. And then we'll just kind of like bend off and wind from that kind of side. Bring this up a bit. that can then start to roll up. And then this one will bring ground naturally. So make it feel like it's going up the hill. And we'll go straight. Oh, hello. And it might eventually kind of meet down and connect to there at some point. But you can kind of see how it's all going to then come into play. So if I brought this out by 20 as well. Oh, I mispressed the wrong button. Traditionally keep into the grid format because it's probably the best ways to maximize the amount of space I have available to build stuff up with. And there we go. Keep into that. There we go. Yeah, we'll roll with it. So, let's start to get some of these in there. So, tree plantations. Look at the size of these. This is amazing. We'll start here. We'll give it a 4. 2 or 4? No, we'll give it a nice chunky space. There. I'm going to drop it on the main road as well. It doesn't really matter. It's going to look really weird until I start to get all of the trees around the area added in. But I'm really wanting to kind of pump up as much of the zoning abilities all in. So even if like doing little stuff like this, trying to crisscross and merge. Is that as small as that goes? Okay. Alright, we'll do a couple just there. Go for a large one. Because you can also change the style of trees on it too. That's something, guys, you got to remember. So like this here, I could change it to like beech or conifer. I'll change it because I can't remember what the dominant tree is within all of this. So I'll change it to the Foolsopolis stuff when we kind of add it all in. And we also need to think about how we're going to implement trains in here as well. Because that'll be a big driving force to getting goods kind of around here. So, with that said, I should actually really think about that. If I place this over here, if I kept this side here free, I could have a train line running up. That might be very important. That might be like a very, very important feature that I do need to kind of really pay some attention about right now. So, where's 20? 20 is there. So I could end that to here and run that down. There. And there. So I want it to feel like it's in the middle of a forest eventually. That's what I want it to kind of eventually feel like. So I have that to there and to there. There we go. And I don't know what the distance would be for the... Oh, it was 50, wasn't it? I was doing like 50s. So yeah, that would do us some good. I could eventually connect it all in. I'll just see how busy the actual traffic is going to be. Alright, squeeze a couple of these puppies in. Get some of those. Are they classed as meat? No, they're classed as small. Okay. Add that on that side to have this one and then this side. Go some of this style just over here now. Now, do you reckon that'll be enough to begin with? I reckon to begin with that would be enough. Actually, put it back into play mode too. Yeah, to begin with that should be enough. And then we'll just kind of build upon it as time goes on. So if we're now going to be producing trees, I don't know how big this logging area is going to be, but if I do start to place that... Actually, I won't do the tree placing down just yet, because I want to get the train line in. But I think I might set up multiple train stations for this area. I might do one at the top, one further down, just to spread the love a little bit. But we also need to then bring it down to here. So it then means I have to then technically change the approach here. So, right, I'm going to kind of kill it off for a minute. Now, in reality, if I just killed this connection here off... Oh, I might put that train to pass through. I don't want to ruin your train. So if I had that then go that way, and then this just comes in and V's there. But then I also need to kind of make it... Oh no, better idea. Better idea. If actually, I don't know why I keep pausing it. It doesn't really matter at this point. If I did that, I could have this continue to go straight and then pass through and up. And kind of end as a dead end. That connects there as a V, which goes straight through. Alright. That could come in and end here. Oh, I could have had that kind of connect round and stayed as it was. Right, I've got how I want to get it set up. I've got it in my head. It does mean combining current lines, which is not an issue, because I don't think there'll be that much traffic. And at the same time, I think we'll set it up correctly as well. So if I bring that to... Hang on, what's that to there? I say 23. So if I went by 13, and then decided to do a 20 by 20 to there. So let's say I kind of forced it a bit more forward to kind of keep it away from this V. But then I do need to, we'll do another 10 just to kind of level it all out to the normal level. And then what's that away from it? It's a 24. So I could go for like a 15 by 15. No, I think we'll have to stick to a 10 by 10. And how far is that 21 away? 21, and then to there is a 24. So that should reasonably, I can't even say it, reasonably be a right size or spacing. So that there should add the train tracks either side. Very good, very good. That'll bend round, go down to there. We're back into this place. I mean, granted, I could have just done a V straight here. But it then would be like a double V section in this whole system. And that wouldn't play out too well, really, would it? It kind of wouldn't play out too well, so... And then... I don't truly know how I feel about this. It could be subject to change. But then this here, running along in a straight line, bringing this down to Earth. So if I brought it about there, no, a bit more. 21. 21. The bends then take place. So you can see how that then works. So it's straight, straight, no messing about, and then everything that connects off to it works. Because then that'll be a dead end into here for the production buildings. This is a dead end here to collect the wood. And it's just straight turning in. So because you've got the spacings all set out properly, we shouldn't see too much of an issue. Normally, I mean... In reality, it would have been ideal to have a separate line that kind of goes in, but you bottleneck in the entrance if it does become too busy. Especially because my other industries have ship routes. Like, you can say, oh, I'm bottlenecking this coming into here. Wait, wasn't there meant to be a train station up here? What happened to that? Alright, put that back in. Is that connected? Yeah. But the fact that we have this over here helps, and also I think that's pretty much what it is, because we have the shipping route, it becomes an extra route, but we're kind of integrating this within it, so it shouldn't be too different. We'll kind of see what happens. We might get away with it, but without connecting that just yet, right, we got to figure out where we want our little stops, because we're going to obviously have a stop and then a bypassing route. So I could have this just like generically placed like here, and then have like another one placed here, for example. Right? Now I know it's not perfect. We'll have to kind of do. I mean, that's not perfect at all. What am I doing that for? Place it here instead, or here. Now, quite close by, but they both serve different purposes. Because as we're going to kind of go up the hill, I'll probably choose this one a little bit more. And I'm going to anarchy it all through because it's going to sink below the roads. We'll have we'll elevate bridges going over, which you can't actually elevate that road. So you kind of have to do it as a dirt road, just so you get this nice wooden bridge style. So I selected that node, kind of bring it in slightly, so the train just goes just perfectly over it. Bringing that up, pushing it in. Right, it will work. We'll get away with it. It ain't perfect yet, but it will serve a purpose. So, I don't know what a train connection would look like here. Oh, no, it can't. Oh, I just realized it can't actually go like that. It's got to be a bypassing route. I completely forgot about that. So that can go... I mean, we can bring it to there and then connect in like that. So if I went by a 15 by a 6... 15... Gonna bring that down a bit more. By a 6... We sort it all out. But this is going to be the interesting bit right now. Okay, if we use this tool instead. If I went this way. And then it means I can then create a better connection just here. To kind of sink it and under. It is kind of crazy how it does drop down so ridiculously. But I bend that and then bend like that. It becomes a nice little wiggle to align correctly. I think it's more the fact that this does try and go down. But if you use the ability to do the angling tool here, brings it up to a reasonable level. So you don't really, I mean, I bet say, so you don't really notice much difference, but you're going to notice it either way. Maybe I'll bring that down slightly. Yeah, we'll get away with that. So bypassing route, dead end, works. It's only, like... I don't see him transferring there to there. I don't see him doing that. But it's just in case they do. The option's there anyway. The option's there. Not enough natural resources, I know. I haven't even got the trees planted in yet. Do not worry your little brains. So then if I get the connection here to here. And boom. We then elevate the road. I mean, I could elevate the road. Well, I have to elevate it no matter what. But I can sink the train line a bit. There and there. And I'll do one more. Give us that little bit of distance to play around with. There and there and there. We'll select those nodes. Sink it down. And I'm using that sloped tool. I want to bring it to here. So it's gradual slopage. Bring that to there. Yeah, did that work? No. With some more gradual slopage. I think I might actually upgrade this one by one more because the way that it's going to be terraformed right now. Right, brush size. Bit bigger. Pushing all this in. Should I smoothen all this off now? It's probably a good idea. I mean, the way it's looking, that's a bit better, isn't it? You wouldn't even notice what's going on. You don't even know how shocking it looks right now. But the grand scheme of things, right now, we can actually harvest, throw it on a train, skedoodle it into whatever direction we want it to go, and it will work. It will obviously work. Oh, I've got to then sort this train line out here. So, setting this up to be then touching the ground, we then need to pick you, you, and you. Bring them to about there, which is fine. The road, I'm then just gonna upgrade that. I'll take it back by one more as well. And we'll do the smoothing after our angles. Should work out pretty fine. Do I go the whole distance here on a gradual decline? Should work out pretty fine as well. And then smoothing it, running this through real quick. It should do us all justice. It should do us all justice. Yeah. It is what it is. Okay, guys. Okay. So, trains can then transport as normal. Or let me sort this out now. Bam. There to there. Yeah, this should work out. This should work out. They're using our little turning section here to get in, which is amazing. I could have brought it down here and then like read it there, but it's double V's on this route and I don't really want that to happen. So might as well I think it works out pretty fine. It works out pretty fine. So we're going to need to get some trees down anyway. So these guys are complaining about, you know, there's not enough natural resources. I know. Don't worry, don't worry. We're losing money. A decent amount of workers you can kind of throw in, considering. So the trees then. Foolsopolis brush. I'm going to increase this. So this is going to be a lot of trees. This is going to be a lot of trees for the area. For what we want it to be like and do. And it's going to use a lot of my limits when it comes to the trees. So I think we kind of need to be, I wouldn't say careful, but aware of how many placing down. I don't need to do full force. I could do like that, where I've like kind of, as I come to the edges, I gotta fan it all out so it doesn't look as mental. And maybe do stuff like that, where the mountainside regions here, maybe there's not as many. Because I can also play around the strength as well. That's where there's like little gaps and stuff in, and then be a bit more mental on some of it here. Fan it all out again, and then really reduce that strength. We're kind of layering it as it kind of fans out. See how I've done that now? So as I want it to kind of fan out, we'll kind of do a nice little sprawl. Layer it as it comes down. Fade it like your boy's getting a nice trim at the barber's right now. That's kind of how we're going to do it. There we go. Does it look too mad? Does it feel like it's in a forest? It will eventually feel like it's in a forest. You can kind of class this as phase 1. It would be nice to have some water streams running here and there, too. Once we get more of this in, it's going to feel good. But they'll now start complaining about not enough natural resources as they kind of have it all in. I'll have to kind of remove some from the train line as well to get that all connected. Make it feel like proper and correct. But we're going to need a highway connection just up here and here. Solely because here we're going to have all the production buildings that turn it into paper and plain timber. Then they might drive down here to get to the shipping area. They might train it to the shipping area, but it's a little bit out of the way for them to do that. But the options are there to drive it anyway. Export areas down here, even though we're going to have one up here too. But it's highway connections to the SCAD. I mean, they might even jump on the highway, like here. Straight in, turn off there. You never know. It's just nice to have all of these additional connections and unlocks this area for us to kind of place more stuff down. So, storage buildings. That's going to be very important. And I'm going to go for the big boy ones. And I think I'll place my first storage building just over here. So that will store the raw resources, basically. I'll have another one just here. And I mean, it'd be nice to have another one in. I'm gonna do a little connection just there, nice little ring going around. No, I won't do any more. And then we'll place, I'm gonna place 2 here. So, a little bit of storage nearby. We're starting to see vehicles now heading and driving around. So they should be driving it to the storage area, which is what they look like they're going to do. So they'll fill that up first before they decide to export it anyway. Now, once those trees grow, it'll feel more like this kind of area as opposed to what it does now. So it kind of get a little bit more bulky, a little bit more thicker, which would be good. Oh, we're back to over 400,000, 403,000 at this point. That's kind of cool, isn't it? I didn't realize the population grew so much. Damn, boy, damn. But yeah, very good, sir. Very good. Since we changed the speed limit on the trains, you can now see how busy this has become. It's a hotspot. But also, it could have been affected by me deleting all this too. So that's something else we kind of need to take into account. Me taking this apart and then rebuilding it. So it would be nice to eventually start seeing some vehicles driving out. No, some trains driving out here. And some vehicles exporting the goods. That would be good. So I won't do any production buildings. I'll leave that till next episode as we try and figure out how we're going to do all these connections here and get all that area in. But what I will do is first check out the efficiency of the area. Which is... How do I view the efficiency? I feel like it should be smack bang right in my face. Oh, there we go. That took a while to appear, didn't it? Efficiency 35%. So we could definitely add more to it. I think each worker barracks brings in a 5% boost. A humble 5% boost. We might need some more roads. We're gonna need some more roads, boys. Alright, bring these out slightly. Gotta be careful because we do start to go slightly uphill. Definitely can get a few more in around here. I'm gonna go here with this. Yep. So I could connect it all, but I feel like I don't want to on some of it. Right, let's start just here then. So definitely one there, and we'll throw in one there. Now, these are buildings that you don't really see people going to that much, so I can place them down in like the awkward positions, and it'll kind of be fine. I didn't want just there. The more efficiency we get in this place, the better for us. So it just adds to the area. It builds it up a bit more, makes it look a little bit more bulky. That gives us a nearly 100% efficiency boost. I'll take it. I'll take that right now. So we should be double the efficiency, basically. So what it would be standard without any of those buildings. Right, are we starting to see any exports going on? Oh, there's actually a train coming in. Where have you come from? Oh, Renberg. So that's come out of the region. That's dropping some vehicles off right now. 115 tons is our own acquisition. So like I said, they'll fill up the all these storage bins first before we actually see some exports going on. Not a problem. Just gotta let them do what they gotta do. And I'm now starting to see vehicles from outside of the region bringing goods in, turning off the highway. Yeah, interesting. Right, this is going to be a lot of fun. I feel like we should have some outer region connections here just for like normal star roads. We've got the connection here. We should see like a big bulk of forestry vehicles maybe coming in. Because this is like the... Is that the closest highway connection for them? Yeah, that is. But there's also this one over here. There's a couple of... Oh, there are 2 there. Vehicles for the forest industry. So that's interesting. But even having this very, very basic setup to begin with now allows us to kind of, once you've got the production building set up, start creating those unique factories that rely on plain timber or paper. So it pretty much takes us to the next level, and you don't realize how much it opens up the area for you. People get in here for work. I mean, the closest public transport we've got is this Metro Plaza. We'll eventually have something additional added in. But we can start to build up more residential around here to provide even more workers. Yeah, I know you got these guys down here living here too. Simple little bus routes back and forth can really, really help and boost things up. Because we've got nearly 1,700... There we go, 1,700 workers working here right now. Only 290 more jobs available. So, are we exporting yet? Are you on the way to export? I'm not too sure. I feel like these trees are a pretty good fit. They're alders, they're beeches, they're conifers. I think it's not too bad of a contrast. It is a forest farm, so you're going to probably grow some not native species just for the sake of being able to chop down certain wood. So yeah, we'll just see how things go. We'll see how things go, boys. Not bad, not bad, not bad. But, yeah, pretty standard. I'm happy how this is going. Next episode, then, we'll add in a few more roads leading up to the hills, get a few more of these forests down. We'll start to build up our production buildings and start to create the plain timber and the paper. Start storing it locally, then placing down the unique factories that would then need to use it. And I might get like the other little stream in or two, some water sources to kind of really beautify this area a little bit more rather than just like a whole forest of trees right now. As good as it is, you're going to add those little finishing touches in, right? Oh, and get the 2 highway connections added up. This one just here and that one just there. Complete the road, which will also contain more factories on this side. Not bad, not bad. And then make some plans for layouts for how people are going to live in this area too. And some public transport as well. Lots of things that we need to get set up. So I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I see you all soon. So, goodbye.